and the three processes through which we pass. First is the Graha Lakshmi. Actually, this is celebrated mostly on the 13th day of the moon, where they say that the housewife has to be given some present. And the best thing she can have is some sort of an utensil. So people give her some utensils. Actually, it's a very, I think, a mutual thing, because if you give an utensil, she's supposed to cook for you. It's a very sweet way of suggesting that you cook something for her. Then the 14th day is very important, because that is the day the goddess, as a power, because it was Kartikeya who killed Narakasura, the devil. And he was one of the worst of all. He could not be killed. So Shiva and Parvati were married for the special purpose to produce this powerful Shakti Putras, the son of the Shakti, known as Kartikeya. And he was just born to kill this horrible devil, called as Narakasura. And he killed. That is the day, 14th day. It's something like Halloween that day. Because that is the day they open the gates of hell and put all the devils into hell. And that's why that day one has to rest in the morning time, as long, so that let all the devils be put in nicely. Because some of them might be hanging around still. It's better to allow them to get out. I mean, in the realm that you are, you do not feel much there exists. But if you were in the realm of subconscious area, or collective subconscious, people see even some of the spirits and also can feel their existence. They see the black spots and all that. So, that day is very dangerous. But because Narakasura was killed, people celebrate it. That celebration is expressed next year, next day, which that day is the day of Divali, they say. That is the day they also worship Lakshmi, because they think that from the sea, as I told you last time. Then the day of the new year comes in afterwards. Because in India, in the north, that's the time people finish their crops, and they found that day was very good to celebrate the new year. And that is actually more sort of, you can say, is a social thing in India. We need not use that. Whatever suits us, you can have your own New Year, because in the south, in say in Maharashtra, they have another New Year, as I told you, where Shalivahana, his dynasty, started another calendar and they celebrate that. So all these things are, nothing is rigid about anything. One must know, nothing is rigid. Rigidity comes from ignorance. It's all for you, for your joy and happiness. The whole festival system is for your happiness and not for the happiness of the time or date. It's for you. So it should be adjustable according to your needs and understanding. And also according to your national way you live. There should be no addiction to any particular type of culture or particular type of ideas. It's all for you. All these festivals are for you, not for gods. They don't have these festivals. It's only for you people these festivals are there. And when you celebrate them, that's only for your joy and your happiness. And that's how you should celebrate in a way that gives you the greatest amount of happiness. And the festivals, all the festivals of the world must be celebrated. The more you are festive, the happier it is. Why miss the chance? So as Sahaj Yogis, you can celebrate. You can't push yourself in, John. Just move a little this side, I think. Yeah, just a little. So, as a Sahaj Yogi, you don't belong to any particular caste or community. And more now, you belong to universal caste. Once you start belonging to the universal thing, then you can celebrate all the festivals of all the religions and have the best of it. All the year round, you can celebrate all the festivals, know about them. The more you know, the better it is. And have all kinds of sweets, whatever you use, whatever type you use, in whatever areas and countries and cultures. And that's how we have to be more festive. Now, the last day is very important. It's a very universal day, I should say, called as Bhaiyadvij. This day, or they call it also in Marathi Bhaubij in different names, is the brothers and sisters day. Now, the brothers and sisters relationship has to be very, very strong. And the purity of that relationship is to be maintained. It is not necessary that you should be born as brothers and sisters. Not necessary. But you are born, because if you are realized souls, you are born as brothers and sisters. So that purity must be maintained in the society of service. Very important. That we should try to develop this situation that brothers and sisters are something very pure. Their relationships are very pure. And they should not be at all challenged. It is so much so that even if you call somebody your brother, he is your brother. And the more you develop this relationship, the better your left Vishuddhi will be. Because left Vishuddhi is the relationship with God as a brother or with the goddess as a sister. So, Sri Krishna's sister, as you know, was born to Nand. And Sri Krishna was himself born in a prison. So there was an exchange that took place. They had to replace her in his place. And then when Kamsa, the uncle of Krishna, tried to kill that girl, she went into the sky and like a lightning she said that your killer is still living in Gokul. He's still there. So this lightning that we see is representative of that power which we call as Vishnu Maya, is the sisters. If your sisterly feelings towards women are good and strong, your left Vishuddhi will be very good. It has many other qualities. For example, a person who has a very good left Vishuddhi is a very confident person. Not only that, but whatever he says comes out true. Even by mistake he says something, it comes true. It's a very powerful center, left Vishuddhi is. Such a person, whenever he speaks, to say criticize something, or to cut down something, or to be against something, then it has the power to crush all that he doesn't want. See, like, you can say, Christ, his left Vishuddhi is expressed through his relationship with Mari Madhuri. When he stood up and said that those who have not committed any sin can stone her. So this is his power. The sin of the people just crushed them completely. They finished because the sin was there, and the sin was of left vision. There was no purity. And when there is no purity, a person who is so pure says such a thing. All these people lost their powers. They couldn't even stone. Now, this sister of his was born later on as Draupadi, and that too very near the place we have been to Vani, where we saw. Gavi, you remember when we were going to Nagpur? Near Vani, she was born, that place, and there's a very big temple of that. She was called as Draupadi, and you know how Sri Krishna tried to save her chastity. Now, people, I've heard, are trying also to say things against Mari Magdalene and against Christ and all kinds of things. See, this is a sign of the decadence of our brains and our morality, that we cannot see purity in any relationship. We cannot see any purity in any relationship. So we as Sahajogis have to develop more of that. Instead of that, what I find, that people, especially in the West, try to think whom we are going to marry home. These relationships are established. These are wrong. There is no need to go on organizing marriages and playing these games of romance and all that. If marriage has to take place, it will take place. But don't spoil the atmosphere. There are some people who are just like barbers who try to organize marriages, you see, and take a great pride in arranging marriages with this one to that one and that one to that one. It's not a desirable. One should not do it. There's no virtue in these things, is to organize marriages all the time. When the marriage time comes, it takes place. Now at the time of Muhammad Sahib, a big question arose because there were very few ladies, very few men, and many ladies of all age groups. And they didn't know what to do, how to save these girls, because so many men died in the war. So then they asked what to do now at this juncture. I mean, a position when such a catastrophe is there and so many women are there and very few men, then he said, all right, you can marry 4 or 5 wives. And you can marry any age group. Because if you have to live with dharma, means marriage, means collective sanction, not without marriage. So he said, all right, you can even marry 5 times, but you must marry. Without marriage you cannot live. And that is why he was particular that every person should be married and should have no relationship without marriage. It was sin. Instead of that, now Muslims think that it is their right to marry 5 persons. I mean, when the men are more and women are less. Is that wrong? You have to find out a solution. And at that time, the relationship between even the sisters and brothers, he had to delimit because there was a big problem. So he said, all right, the children born of the same parents cannot marry, but cousins could marry. That time. Now that time is changed. All right. It's not that time. We are not on war. There's nothing happening like that. There's no such problem. So let us develop now our pure relationship of brothers and sisters. Actually, first time when we had this Divali function, I asked people to find one sister for yourself. Every gentleman must have one sister. To find out one. And then that is the day I said, let us start this way. That next time when we meet on another day called as a Purnima, Rakhi Purnima, that you tie the rakhi in the hand. The same brothers and sisters. In India also we did like that, and it worked very well. So, but there the relationships are so strong. Once with Dhumar, you see, I think tied it to Raulbai. And now even if I say something to Raulbai, he doesn't like. It is to that extent. It's so sweet, you know. And even Dhumar's wife respects Raulbai as an elder sister. See? It's very sweet. Like that, many relationships are established. And next year, I think Raulbai became the sister of one of our trustees who is no more there. And she always carried on all that relationship. And they also. I mean, imagine, the whole thing is that that relationship is so special, so close, and so pure. And such a relationship one should develop with a lady, any woman, or any friend you want to have. And one should remember that it cannot cross a certain limit. There has to have a maryada. Otherwise they become brothers and sisters and then they marry. It's not possible. So we have to have the boundaries. That is very important. In Sahaja Yoga we have to have maryadas and boundaries. And one of them is this, that once you call somebody a brother or a sister, it's an absolutely pure relationship. Little further we'll go with that. And that the relationship with the, as I had told you before, that with your, say, a husband's younger brothers is just like that. They are like your younger brothers, all of them. Husbands, younger brothers, or younger Sahajogis than your husband are. The other way round is for all the ladies, we can say all the men, their wives, elder ladies, elder to wives, are like sisters, elder sisters. I mean, this relationship is so sweet and gives you a certain amount of understanding how much distance is kept with whom to be free and with whom to have the distance. And this must be maintained in such a beautiful way that this purity is not corrupted. You keep to pure standards. This is the nourishment of Sahaja. It's the nourishment of your purity. Purity is the most important thing for us. Purity in every way. If you are pure, you will not do anything that is fake. That is, we can say, that is not pure. So first of all, you will be pure yourself. And you will accept purity. You will appreciate purity. Stand by purity. Any impurity you will not collaborate with or try to compromise with. That's why purity is your mother's name. You know that my name is purity. And this purity is such that it pures it. It just purifies. The purity should be such that it should purify. Otherwise that purity has no meaning. For example, a soap purifies, alright? But you don't purify the soap. You clean the soap. I mean, some crazy people might be. I know some people who even wash the tap and also the water. And that's why this water, which is the purifier. Water is the purifier. Water purifies us physically. And also our poisons are driven out of our liver also by water. Water is a very great element in removing all problems. You use water for so many things, you know how you work it out. So this Lakshmi, which is purification, was born out of water. That's why she was called as Mary, as I told you. And I am also called as Meera, meaning born out of water. So one has to understand that today's message is that we inculcate purity. We should not cheat ourselves. It's really easy to cheat, but we should inculcate purity within ourselves as a matter of our own achievement, as our own decoration, as our own beauty, and not just because it's a laborious thing or it is a very hard thing, not like that. It should be achieved with great pleasure and happiness. How do we like to have a bath and to be clean and to be presentable? In the same way, we should try to clean our thoughts. Just by paying attention to them, you can clean them. Thoughts must be made clean. First of all, why have thoughts at all? But even if you have clean and pure thoughts. Even if you have to have, don't have thoughts full of arrogance, aggression, or of fear. Some people think that if you have thoughts of fear, it's a very good thing. Oh, I'm frightened. I am afraid. It's impurity. Why should you be afraid? That means you're left to shoot these guys. There's no need to have any fear of any kind. No need to have any fear of any kind. If you have to have fear, that means there's something wrong with it. If you believe that God is above all, you are a realized soul, and that God is going to look after you, that He is your Father, and that He has opened His gates to you, what is there to be afraid of? Many people think that way, that if you have the fears, you are humble. Humility is different from a frightened person. It's absolutely a different thing. It has nothing to do with humility. So, to be humble is different, and to be frightened is different. For Sahaja Yogis, it is very easy to find out through their vibratory awareness what is fear and what is humility. Because humility will give you vibration and fear will catch all your left side. So, our purification of our mind comes through certain methods of understanding ourselves. First of the understanding one has to have that we are born in a family, born in a society, born in a so-called religious sect or whatever. So all these fixations have put into us certain amount of impurity, which may give us ego, superego, anything it might be. So to keep it pure and simple is take to water element as much as you can. It helps both ways. It helps ego, it helps spirit. Take to water element. And that is what Lakshmi is. Lakshmi is the one that gives you the Mahalakshmi Tattva. From the Lakshmi only the Mahalakshmi's principle comes in. And this is after the purification through the Lakshmi process. Christ has said, if you want, I can give you gold bars. You can live with it. But those who love me will only enter into the kingdom of God. And I will eat with them. Means those who are pure only I will eat with them. I will not eat with people who are impure. So, all the incarnations are aware of it. That they have to be with the pure people and they have to help the pure people. But he so clearly said it, that if you want Lakshmi, you can have it. That's money. But that's not Mahalakshmi. So from Lakshmi to Mahalakshmi state. You have already got your realization, you do not know how much you have got it already. You are already having the Mahalakshmi principle. And what is the Mahalakshmi principle? That's the point. Can I ask this question? What is the Mahalakshmi principle within you?
Desire for the spirit. Desire for the spirit.
No, but you have a power. You have got Mahalakshmi's powers within you, do you know that?
Pleasure it gives you. Pleasure it gives you.
The what?
The pleasure it gives you.
The pleasure?
Yes.
No.
It's the power of giving realization.
Go ahead, still. You should move. Pleasure is not a power. Pleasure is what you are enjoying. But it's you have a power of Mahalakshmi. Huh? That's right.
It's just the sustaining power.
That's no power.
The power of spreading the
Power means, yes, you have that power to do something.
Redemption.
The power to spread Sahaja Yoga.
Huh?
The power to spread Sahaja Yoga.
That's rather vague. Particular.
Deep realization.